I'm gonna join.
Hey, here we go. We're live. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the stream. It is time for another Patreon stream. I've got a bunch of art to do today, so we'll see how far we get. Hey, here we go. We're live.
Oh, shoot. Let me just silence the stream.
I was about to say, is that coming from me?
No, that's me. I apologize. I forgot to mute it.
I need to get my computer up with the stream. Also, it's always a fun thing trying to figure out which of your tablet pens is charged and which one isn't.
Oh, jeez. You have multiple?
Yeah, because I keep losing them and then finding them again. I have like 3.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Right now I'm just sitting in the library
have
because all the study rooms are taken.
Huion? Is that the one that
Yep.
you need to charge?
Yeah, I have a Huion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if other brands have ones you need to charge, but...
Yeah, I've never had a tablet that I needed to charge the pen. Well, I guess that's not true. Now I have the Apple Pencil, and I guess that needs to charge. But...
Yeah, I wouldn't know that because I am mostly a traditional artist, but...
Okay, let's hope Fire Alpaca decides to be merciful with loading today.
Chat's already screaming about berries for the snake.
Oh my.
I've never had issues with Fire Alpaca before.
I have a really old, like, Windows 8 computer. It's been here for like 10 years, so, you know, pretty finicky.
Yeah.
But my other computer doesn't like to run Fire Alpaca, so I'm stuck here with the old one.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm really mad. For multiple reasons. One, my tax refund didn't come in yesterday like I was supposed to, but that's something else completely. I came to the library to sit in a study room because I live in a dorm where I don't have my own space. Like, it's just 3 beds in a room. And I came in here. Ooh, study room opening. Mine. That's mine. Ugh.
I'm gonna send the link to the stream to my friends.
No, she's not opening. She's just going to the bathroom. Anyways, so you can reserve a study room as a graduate student for the whole quarter, and only you can go in. Which I think is kind of BS, because I think if you're a graduate student, you probably live in some place where you have your own room. Because, like, you're basically just taking up a space that someone else can use.
Yeah, that seems to make sense.
That seems... I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I don't live somewhere where I can have my own space in my own room, so I have to come to the study rooms if I want somewhere to be private.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like if you're a grad student, you probably already live somewhere where you have privacy.
Well, I guess the real question is, how often do grad students use these rooms, then? Because, like, as long as
I have no idea.
using them a lot,
I've
then
never...
I guess it makes sense. But, like, if it feels like nobody's ever using them...
I've never seen, like, anyone in those rooms, the ones that are always locked. I've never seen anyone in them. Like, there's stuff in them, but I've never seen anyone in them.
Huh.
It's just mildly frustrating, and
yeah,
there's a lot of people who are looking for study rooms, except they're all locked because they're all for grad students. I just don't understand.
Fire Alpaca, please respond.
That's my gripe for the day.
Thanks for coming to my TikTok. Grad student rooms are like dumb.
There's literally someone sitting on the floor, like in the middle of the hall, reading a book.
They need a spot to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like that at all.
There.
We're starting on my girl.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
girl.
love her.
Was there any
I love her
expression
more than
you
words.
had in mind for this, or just whatever?
Make her angry. She's pretty frequently angry. I want to
Yes.
see her angry.
Love angry.
She's
Angry's
always angry
fun.
about something.
You know when friggin' you have OCs like, or your friends have OCs that have these ridiculous warrior names, but they can technically be canon.
Oh,
Like
Oh.
Smokeweed.
My
Or
friend
Tide
has
Pod.
one that's weed smoke, and his girlfriend is Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Yep. And those are the two I'm drawing right now.
Oh no.
I mean, they work.
Yeah, it's like I love, but I hate that they work.
you know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, yes,
Yeah.
technically this is true, but god damn it, why'd you have to do it? Y'all are loose cannons.
I like to go with out there, but like really natural warrior names. I don't know how to better explain that. Like they're crazy, but they don't sound like that. They don't sound like Tide Pod or Mountain Dew.
Right,
I feel
right.
like Warriors doesn't go creative enough with their names. Like, there are so many good naming possibilities, and they're just, like, really
And then they're like,
boxed in.
Yeah.
Let's
Orange
name one
fur.
cat the same thing. Let's have more than one ash fur because that's the most basic name you can think of.
Aren't there like 3 dusk stars?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get
There's
it.
like
Dusk is a
one
cool
of the
name,
leader
but-
names.
I'm gonna plug it in. My phone's being really finicky about plugging in. Like the charger has to be at a certain angle, or it will not charge. I hate it.
Oh, I hate
That
when
sounds
that
like
happens.
a charger thing.
Yeah.
No, it's a phone thing. I have several different chargers, and they all do that. It's a phone thing.
Now everyone's like Fidget Flake is creative. I mean, SkyClan has the most creative names.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
Dollface. My
They have
Kato
fun
has
names.
decided to join us.
But the whole thing with them is that
Yay.
they don't know what the traditional names are, so they just name them whatever.
Yeah.
My friend Teef, who's one of the co-creators of StarClan Battles, she comes up with the best names. Like, no argument. Some of my favorites, like, she has so many names that are so good, but like, 2 of my favorites are characters of hers that come later down the line, and it's Dragon Crest and
Ooh.
Damsel
Ooh.
Thorn. And
Ooh.
the story behind it is that their father was like a rogue / kitty pet.
Oh.
And so like he didn't really understand how the like warrior names worked. So he's like, well, this one will be Dragonfly Kit and this one will be Damselfly Kit. And their mom was like, no.
No, you can't.
that
See,
is
Can't.
that is too
No.
long.
I know some people who have those like OCs who have those like compound word names for the first part of the name. Like they have
Well,
one that's I think
yeah.
is Firefly Kit,
Yeah.
and it's like
Mm.
I respect
Well,
your
I mean,
creativity, but that's long.
I mean, the deputy of the clan Blizzard Hail is in is actually named Primrose Dawn.
Hell yeah.
So, which I think they used Primrose like once in canon. I think that was Misty Star's daughter.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
the
she
one
had a
that they
daughter
completely
named.
forgot existed.
Yeah, they forgot all her children existed.
I was about to say, Misty Star has children, right?
Forgot about that.
those.
But I mean, the only one who's alive is Reed Whisker,
Yeah.
I think is his name.
Mm.
And I don't even
Maybe.
think they really remember that that's her son.
Womp
I
womp.
think they just think he's generic RiverClan warrior number 4 or something.
One day they'll kill Misty Star and they'll be like, oh, they'll like look back at the wiki, you know, who's Reed Whisker
I'm convinced
again?
they own. I'm pretty sure they only use the wiki. I don't think they have like an official like book of
No, they don't.
like a guidebook that they have.
No.
They just use the wiki,
They
which is
don't.
terrible idea.
Yeah, they've pretty much admitted to that in years past.
Which
that
is
they
awful.
Don't have any kind of like series Bible. Yeah.
With a series as big as Warriors, we kind of need a series Bible. I mean,
Oh,
like, we have, like,
absolutely.
Secret of the Clans and Code of the Clans and everything, which I guess is kind of a series Bible. It's more like a backstory kind of thing, though.
As someone who
And
is,
they're all really old.
yeah, as someone who is, you know, writing a Warriors inspired series, it's like we have so many notes, like so many things that are like part of our series Bible, and there's still things that's like, oh, we need to remember to add this in and make sure that we take note of this, and yada, yada. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to keep track of all this just through fans.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I have something similar since Blizzard Hale is part of a whole clan group. It's her own. There's like 4 clans that go along with her. There's a whole thing, but I mean, I have so many notes on all of them, and I have like family trees that are like me making them, and I can't imagine like writing a whole series and then not having something that I wrote to base it off of, because fans are unreliable, and for the longest time they had Suzanne as canon in there, so
Oh god, yeah, that was a mess.
I kind of feel bad for her because they threw her under the bus hardcore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, it's just one of those things where it's like you've gotta. On one hand, I understand the authors, like, they never made a series Bible. They should have done that to begin with. But now at this point, they are just like so overwhelmed with so much stuff that making a series Bible would be a huge task that they just like don't have time for at this point. But on
If
the other
anything,
hand,
I think they need to hire like a group of fans, just like 15 fans, and have them reread all the books, take like detailed notes, and then collectively come up with a series Bible. I feel like that's the only way to do it at this
yeah,
point.
that would be a good way of putting it together.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I also get kind of angry at the fans for taking literally anything that has ever been said once by anyone vaguely related to the series and considering it canon.
Yeah.
I thought that was mostly like a wiki problem, though.
I think it mostly is, and I think they've gotten better at it, but like,
Oh, I
you
think
know,
it's because people
I
kept
still
being
get a
mad
lot of
about it.
I still get a lot of comments from people on certain Warriors videos that I do where they're like, oh, well, X character and this character are related, so, like, how dare you put them, or how dare you say that, like, they're not related in this one video, or how dare you ship these 2 characters or whatever in this fan side project. And it's like, the thing that they're basing them being related on is something that was said once that no longer applies to the series and is very much kind of a like, well, maybe, but it's not hard canon.
I just kind of, yeah, the only thing that you can only really consider as hard canon, and by the lexicon definition of it, is that it's whatever's in the official books. Whatever is in the book is canon. Authors can't even change canon, which is why there's so much issue with J.K. Rowling. So technically, Willowpelt and Patchpelt being siblings and then having Greystripe is actually canon, and being, well, not them having Greystripe, but them being siblings is canon. So when the Aarons were like, oh yeah, Patchpelt is Greystripe's dad, and then everyone was like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a second. We got Blue Star's prophecy here telling us something that we don't want to know about that.
Yeah. We didn't need to know this. Oh god.
And then the Aarons backtracked on that pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure it was also on the first Warriors page for a while. That's also how a lot of people are like, well, Redtail is Sandstorm's dad and Brindleface is her mom, which I actually do like that headcanon.
It's
Anyway,
a fine
so I kinda go by
headcanon,
it.
but it's like something that's not hard canon.
Yeah, I like it as a headcanon. and I kind of consider it as like my default when I'm going to decide like who her parents are. I'm just gonna automatically kind of go with the idea that those are Sandstorm's parents. But at the same time, you can't go off and say, well, the Aarons said it, so it must be true. We all know the Aarons don't actually talk to each other about what's canon.
Yeah.
They just
They don't
kind of
even
come
know
up
what
with the
is canon or
ideas.
not.
Well, they all want to say different things. Like, I don't remember who it was, but like with Fallen Leaves and Hollyleaf, like some of them, like I think two of them said they were just friends. One of them said that they were in a relationship, and then I don't remember what the other one said. They probably something in between those two.
Probably something like,
But
who's Fallen Leaves?
I don't know who that is.
I mean,
It's
in all fairness to
probably
that
Kate
one,
since she's writing all
there
the
is, the Family
novellas.
Tree on the website lists Hollyleaf and Fallen Leaves as mates, but I'm not pretty sure that doesn't
Yeah,
count.
but I'm also saying like I don't really care what the website says because the website's by HarperCollins and HarperCollins doesn't know what they're talking about.
Ah.
Yeah.
Like that's how we got the Willow Pelt plus Patch Pelt having gray stripe thing. It was on the original Warriors website, and I'm pretty sure all they did was hand some intern at HarperCollins a book and said, these are the character names, make a tree.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even let them read the book or anything.
Yeah, and then when it comes to like Series 1 characters, people can headcanon whatever they want, but I just prefer to say, like, none of them are related. They poofed out of the ether, and none of them are related to each other, unless the books specifically say they are related.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was fine until they came out with Blue Star's Prophecy, which kind of just threw a wrench in that.
Yeah, I like to ignore Blue Star's Prophecy. Like,
I like Blue Star's Prophecy as a book. I think it's a really fun book to read.
mhm.
But if you put it in the canon, it kind of destroys everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think out of the books that they've written, like, in technical terms, objectively, it is a good book.
Mhm.
But if you put it in the Warriors timeline, it's not good.
Well, yeah. That's a very good way of putting it, because, like, as a standalone book, it's good, too. And,
Yeah.
but it's when you put it in the context of the rest of the series that it really falls apart just kind of everywhere, because it also kind of hurts Blue Star as a character as well. It's kind of like the same thing
Yeah,
that
it just
happened
makes
with
your...
Yellowfang's book. It's a good book by itself,
Yeah.
but it hurts Yellowfang as a character in the rest of the series.
And Yellowfang's book literally contradicts one of the main plot points of the first book about Broken Star killing 2 kids, and in Yellowfang's secret, he said, like, she says that they got killed by foxes.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, but I guess. And then, like, in the first book, he's like, yeah, I killed those babies. Why? What?
Yeah.
Sir, have you not read Yellowfang's secret? Clearly you didn't kill those babies.
Yeah. And I mean, just the implications, too, of, like, when we meet Yellowfang in the series, it's very much, like, you're made to assume that Yellowfang has been a warrior for a really long time. That's how she has all these battle scars. You know, it's like she was
and they
a warrior.
literally talk
And
about
then,
they talk about her being an old, wise, like, well-respected medicine cat, former warrior of Shadow Clan. Like, they describe her like that, like, where she's old and, like, very, very cool, and she's a badass.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, in Yellowfang's secret, like, I was so confused when they came out with that. I was like, she's not that young. What?
Yeah.
Like, just her age in the timeline was really confusing to me.
Yeah.
Eyes! I can't draw eyes. Sorry for just butting in there, but, you know,
Circle
drawing
spots.
difficulties.
Hello?
As a side note, well, 2 side notes. One of my friends on Discord is watching the stream, and they're the one who has the OCs I was complaining about the names of earlier. and they say you guys are cool. Secondly, I got Tolstoy's Revenge from the library and I'm reading it right now. Figured you'd like to know that.
Yay!
I still haven't read
It's a
like
good book.
any
Very
of the super
spicy.
editions.
Suddenly,
the super
everything on the
editions.
bottom of my screen just lit up as soon as I said that.
The super editions are probably my favorite books to read out of all of them,
Yeah.
except for Firestar's Quest.
I've only read about 4.
Firestar's Quest is a mess. I like the
Yeah.
prequel. I like the prequel books
It's
a lot.
amazing that
and not,
Firestar's
like, Dawn
Quest
of the Clan.
was the first super edition, and it's so like underwhelming.
They just like
They took a
don't
look
do
at
anything.
Firestar's Quest and was like, we want to do more of these, but completely different.
We're gonna do more, but make them all better
Yeah.
in every way possible.
I think I've only read 4 super editions, including Firestar's Quest, Blue Star's Prophecy, SkyClan's Destiny, and Crooked Star's Promise.
I remember when Crooked Star's Promise came out. The librarian bought it for me because she knew that I would read it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I was in 5th grade and I started reading Warriors for like the AR points, and I literally read like a book a night. Like I was a fast reader, so I picked them up and I started actually liking them. So I would come in and then she would already have like the next book chronologically ready for me. And so when Crooked Star's Promise came out, I was really excited, and then she said she ordered it just for me.
Aw.
So I got to read it. That
That's
made
so
me sad.
sweet.
Hold on. Think what I'm going to do.
It's a very good book.
I see more of my friends in the chat, and I am suddenly concerned.
Well, they know you're here.
Headshots.
I am mildly disappointed in them.
In the headshots?
No, my friends in the chat.
Is Dorito Paw still existing? Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Dorito Paw? What?
Oh,
It
goodness.
says Dorito Paw.
This sounds wonderful and awful at the same time.
Would you have like nacho cheese or like nacho paw and then like cool paw and then their warrior names being like nacho cheese and then cool ranch?
Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch!
So, you know what's really fun? Cool Ranch works with traditional naming.
Does it? I know cool would, but I don't know about ranch.
Well, it's a farm. They know what farms are.
But would they know if it's a ranch?
Well, they would the
They
same
don't know
way
what
they know it's a
people
farm.
And they don't really know what horses are or sheep. They just
Some
call
of them
the
know
sheep
what horses
clouds
and sheep
with
are.
legs. That's yeah. I feel like the books
It's-
don't give the cats enough credit. in
It's
terms of
very
knowing what things
inconsistent
are.
what they know and what they don't know.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Millie talking to dogs was completely out of left field.
It wouldn't be weird if it was something that like happened more often, but her and Midnight are the only two bilingual animals in the entire series.
Which doesn't make any sense to me. Wouldn't all the kitty pets be bilingual because they live with the dogs? And when you live with when you live around a different language, you kind of just pick it up by
Maybe the dogs
exposure.
are bilingual, but not the cats. Cats are too
That's
snooty.
interesting.
That's
about right, actually.
I would like to mention that once in Lore of SkyClan, there is a rat that can speak cat.
I do remember that.
What?
And that's like the rat who killed SkyClan originally.
Yep.
Because he was just like, I don't like cats. Also,
How-
how did that rat live so long?
I was about to say, how a rat can live so long is beyond me.
There's a lot of
It's a
things
warrior
happening in
series. That's all
Firestar's
you need.
Quest.
That's all the logic you need.
Maybe it's not the same rat. It just has look-alike descendants.
Oh, it's like it's the rat's great times like 50 grandchild, and he just like they passed it down.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
they're
ability
like,
to
and they're
talk to
cats, so they don't really pay that much attention to what rats look like. So it all just looks and sounds like the same rat.
They're probably like, oh shit, how the hell did this thing live so long? Do they have medicine rats?
Oh my god.
Rats?
Medicine rats!
That's
I love
a
it.
concept on its own. Or do you think the rats couldn't speak cat until they started messing with SkyClan?
Hmm.
The rats probably learned cat specifically to mess with SkyClan.
They were like, oh, look at all these assholes coming over here. Let's mess with them. Do you think
Oh
they
my
were like...
God,
guys.
Do you
Guys?
think maybe they were like drinking something that got fermented and they were just like spitballing one day, like in a boardroom, talking about like all the ways they can get the cats to leave?
Side note here, my friend has brought up something.
Uh-huh.
A gar is a fish, so a
Yes.
warrior name can technically be Garfield.
Garfield!
Oh, yeah.
No!
Garfield! Mountain Dew!
Why?
I just watched
God,
someone
what are
go
some
in
other
one of the
ones?
locked rooms.
Oh.
Also, Weed Smoke and Mountain Dew's kit is now named Flameweed.
Oh no!
I think
And
one
no,
RP
you
I
named
was
them-
in had a character named Burnout.
Burnout!
You have to read them.
Oh no!
No, what you name the kit is you name the kit Roach, and so when they get to be a warrior, you name them Roachweed.
Oh man.
After
You guys
the,
are getting my
the
Fun
roach that you
fact,
get
all of
at the end of Weed.
Burnout's children were dubbed Burn Spawn.
Burn Spawn. Very
And every
interesting.
single one of them had Burn in their name somewhere.
Alright, so we got Burn Kit, Burn Kit, Burn Kit.
No, like Heartburn, Comet Burn was one.
Heartburn.
Heartburn, yes.
Oh no.
That poor
rough.
baby.
That's a rough name. That cat's
I
gonna
was-
have
I was-
an unfortunate life.
I was almost done with the guidelines on this piece. Now we gotta add kits to this art.
Hold
Oh,
on. Hold on. Someone just sent a super chat. Don't know if you know the quote entering the fandom series, but if Coley did the Warrior Cats fandom, what would the key things in the fandom that have to be in the video?
Like
Okay,
cats.
I can help you with this one. So there's this person who does a entering this fandom series. So basically they go into like a room and it's all just her in different corners of the room with like pieces
Oh
of paper
yeah, I've
taped
seen
to
her
her chin.
videos.
But yeah. So I think what they're asking is if she did one on the Warriors fandom, what would things that would need to be in there? And two things I've got to say are people fighting over Scourge's collar and Doublewing's eyes. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Also,
like,
how
fighting
about, like,
over
the-
character consistency?
How about the obligatory? I swear I'm not a furry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be either overly concerned with cat genetics or not concerned with cat genetics at all. There is no middle ground.
Yeah.
Oh
Either
yeah.
got someone
You gotta
who has
have
a cat
those.
that's
It's
like
calico
bright
males
fluorescent
can't have
orange.
kids. This series is unrealistic anyway. Who cares?
Oh man,
Hey,
okay,
now.
so I actually
Don't
have a
at me.
huge rant about that I won't go into right now, but basically literally everything the fandom complains about is genetically possible.
Oh yeah.
Even though it is very rare, technically calico males can have kids. Technically.
They just
Yeah.
have Klinefelters, and it makes it really hard to have babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus
That's actually,
there are
my red
multiple
tail is
other
actually-
ways that you could get a cat that has red and black fur that are not tortoiseshells.
Mhm.
Golden cats.
Their fur doesn't really show up the same type of red, though. It's always a little bit different.
Yeah.
But they are technically multicolored. And also, some cats do just have a little bit of the red pigment, but not enough for it to actually be genetically linked.
Plus, yeah, good old somatic mutations. And of course, you've also got weird stuff like Amber.
Amber's cool.
Amber is neat. Amber is weird on solid cats so much. It is so weird.
My my design for Nutmeg, actually, Firestar's mom is a She's a Norwegian forest cat with amber.
Ooh.
She big! You made her big! Yay!
Yeah, I made her really big. I like big nutmeg and big princess.
Yay!
My Scourge is actually also big, but he was just really tiny as a baby. He got big. I actually have, okay, so I just kind of went crazy with my headcanons and what I was going to include in my rewrite. So I ended up making Quincy a Scottish fold, which are actually pretty big.
Mhm.
So Scourge is, and Jake is an Abyssinian.
Ooh.
So Rusty is a blue Abyssinian with Scottish fold size and Scottish folded ears.
That sounds absolutely adorable.
It does.
Oh,
He's just a really big murder baby.
big murder baby.
Like
It sounds like he could arm wrestle Tiger Star.
he could. That's how he won, obviously. He didn't do that whole like graphic like rip him upside down kind of thing. He just said, "You me arm wrestle right now." He
Arm wrestle for the forest.
He did like that whole thing like I'm about to reference Twilight, which is terrible, but that whole thing in the last Twilight movie where Bella gets like she has to arm wrestle that guy or whatever, one of the vampires, because he's like she's not the strongest. So she picks up like a big ass log and they put it down and they arm wrestle on it and then they break the log. That's what happened when Scourge and Tiger Star arm wrestled. Scourge just picked up a really big rock and then said, "Bitch, let's arm wrestle now."
You know, I'm actually like.
That sounds wonderful. Let's
I
do
really
it.
don't know much about Twilight after book movie 2. I know some vague details due to just being
I've only
alive.
seen it like in
But
passing.
oh my god, that sounds exactly
I
like
have
something
not-
Twilight would do, and oh my god.
I have only seen the first movie and read like the first chapter of the book. I just couldn't care enough, but that sounds exactly on brand.
Okay, I put my Scourge design in the art chat so you guys can go gawk at that if you would like to see what it is.
I would love to go.
It looks nothing like Scourge.
Scoot.
It looks nothing like him, but that's how I put him as.
Oh, he's so cute.
He was a really tiny baby, and then he got big, so he also
Oh,
has a
I
lot of
like
issues
that.
breathing because his collar is too small.
Does he
Oh
like-
no! Oh yeah, because he was a baby when he ran away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so he has a really
Ooh.
tiny collar, and it. So, kind of spoilers, but in my rewrite, he actually, like, Nutmeg saves him from being killed because Nutmeg is a big sweet baby, and she loves all of her children, even her stepchildren. So Nutmeg kind of like does a whole thing where she knocks Rusty or Firestar off of Scourge and says, "You do not kill him. That's your bro." And then she takes his collar off and she cleans him up and says, "Okay, good boy." And then he
Good
goes
boy.
and he gets his 9 lives and gets turned into Morningstar.
Aw.
Oh.
Nice.
So Blood Clan becomes an actual clan.
Ooh.
I've got an
He
RP that
becomes-
did something like that too.
His
Where they
name is
have,
Morningstar.
Have it be have Blood Clan be a legit clan, and is Morningstar a reference to what I think it's a reference to?
Yes. It's exactly what you think it's a reference to. I thought it was cheeky.
I'm lost.
Lucifer Morningstar.
I don't know.
Because he's kind of a bad guy. It's another word. It's another name for the devil in some things. Usually, when the devil is more of a present character.
Oh. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky. Well, and that's why I didn't go like super obvious. I just thought Morningstar was like, oh, I could do that, and it would be an actual name.
Yeah.
So I'll call him Morningstar. He started off a good guy, and then he was a bad guy.
And then he was kind of a good guy again, ish.
Yeah.
Ish. How does one draw a cat with a cute tiny nose and not make it look disproportionate and weird?
Very
Small
carefully.
muzzle.
Small muzzle. Thank you.
Kitten.
apparently my dogs are acting up.
Oof.
Borf, borf.
As a side note, Mountain Dew and Weed Smoke now have 4 kittens.
Oh no!
Their warrior names shall be Flameweed, Garfield, Beantoe, and Root Beer.
Beanco?
Why not Tobin?
Too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious.
Someone is advertising art requests in the chat.
Oof.
Mm.
Mmm. The whole chat. Oh no.
I haven't been looking at the chat.
The
There's
whole
like
chat.
90%
Root
root beer.
That's all the chat is.
Yeah,
Root
it's a lot of
beer!
like it's a lot of really interesting things.
I feel
By
like
the way, on Fairy Forest, feel free to rearrange the spots if they're being weird. I just wanted to have spots on his face.
Okay. I think they're cute.
Nari,
where
look
they're
what you've
at,
done.
so.
Yeah.
my
Make
dogs
one
are
of his
Oh,
kids
no.
moonshine. I mean,
Oh
that
no!
works
Well, now
too.
they're gonna do it.
Moonshine is actually a really pretty name. Like I know
Right.
it's alcohol, but it's also a really pretty name. Shine is just a good
that's a legit
suffix.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Nari, please don't make me put 5 kittens in this picture. There are already 4 of them. I do not wish to draw another one. Please don't do this to me. Knowing very well
Do
she's
more.
there
Adopt
watching the stream.
have the cat adopt some and go for a full 12 kids.
Oh no!
Considering cats can have up to 8 kittens in a litter, I mean, there's that.
There is that. I know they would do that just to make me suffer, though.
Warriors actually has like the tiniest litters ever.
I mean, that's
They
for
really
the better.
do.
That's for the best.
We don't want more incest in this, please.
I mean,
I
yeah.
think
Well,
it's
if
they
they
were
because
had,
having, like,
realistic litter sizes, air quote, there would be a lot more dead babies.
Yeah, that too.
Unfortunately.
Fair.
And we can skip that part of realism.
yeah.
I don't in my rewrite. There's a lot of dead babies.
Oh no!
Well, yes, but you aren't selling your rewrite to children.
Yeah.
That's true. I think
Yeah.
Warriors, for the most part, has stopped being advertised specifically for children and more for teens. I think is kind of what's ended up
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they should've
It's
done
still
it
in the
first
kids
place.
section in the library that I went to, but it's like in the more like it's more in the preteen section of the kids section.
It's
Yeah.
by the Percy
It's-
Jackson books, which are enjoyed by most people at any age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not like the
those are
Harry
ones
Potter
that I
books
always
section.
see in the kids section.
There's a
Mhm.
difference
But-
between like kids book animal fantasy and then like teen animal fantasy. You know, like
Yeah.
kids book animal fantasy is usually like, I don't know, horse girl novels.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Animorphs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Animorphs is for, isn't that for us?
It's for 10-year-olds.
Is it?
No,
I
Animorphs
never
is for
read-
10-year-olds.
I never read it.
Okay, Warriors is also listed as for 10-year-olds. That's what they marketed the first books as, and then in the very end of the first arc, they literally murder someone by killing him violently, so
Yeah, but
I
I,
don't
I
think-
could see Warriors maybe getting a bit of a age genre shift, but like Animorphs is most definitely a kid's book. It is
Just by
it
looking
is
at the size
very
of
much at a
text.
kid's reading level.
Yeah.
well, being at a kid's reading level doesn't change anything. Twilight's technically at a 5th grade reading level.
Yeah, and Harry Potter is even younger than that.
Harry Potter is a kid's book only for like the first 2 books.
Right, but
And
they
then
all...
after that, they just go like terrible. Everything goes downhill from there.
Which was actually pretty cool about Harry Potter because the whole thing basically just gets older as he grows up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's more
Yeah.
mature as he grows up.
Yeah.
I don't know if J.K. Rowling planned that. I don't believe in her enough for her to have planned that.
Yeah,
I could see it going either way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
you can't
I'm trying to make all
discredit
these
her
kittens the
completely,
same
even
size.
even if she
Yeah,
did,
that's
but-
true. She might just be a psycho crazy person, but she still wrote some pretty good books.
Yeah.
Mm.
my poor Control Z right now.
Oh no!
I'm trying to draw all 5 of these kittens. Yes, there are 5 now. Moonshine is officially one of them.
Yeah, go Moonshine. You got the best name.
Need more.
So
Do
I'm
all
trying
the
to make
kittens.
all 5 of them around the same size, which
Ooh.
I am terrible at size consistency.
So you know what is the best thing ever for that? The transform tool.
You are right. You are entirely correct. Thank you for reminding me of its existence.
Yes.
Tools.
Also, I'm going
Yes.
to have Beantoe be like laying down, like sprawling out one of their paws so you can see the toe beans.
Very good.
Very much good.
Okay,
By the
I
way,
know
the transform
genetically.
tool is also magical when you are trying to figure out how the heck to do other eye.
Yeah. Control C, Control V, Control T, flip, boom, done.
I just want to mention something real quick. I do ascribe by the genetically correct warriors thing, but at the same time, I don't care if you design your character to not be genetically correct.
Yeah.
I just
think
want to
it's a
mention
think
that.
fun
that's how-
tool. Yeah.
I think that's how a
It's
lot
a
of
good
people are
tool
with like the
and a
vocal
good
minority.
way if you have absolutely no idea where to start with. You can go like, oh, this cat is red and this cat is blue. Well, here are some prompts, basically.
I like the idea of genetics being included, so I just do it. I know some people get like really gatekeepy about it.
Yeah. As a side note, I am drawing kittens between a dark gray cat and a light gray cat. These are going to be very gray kittens, and I have to make them all different shades of gray.
Oh
50 Shades of Grey.
no!
Wait a minute,
That's
wait a
too
minute,
many
wait a minute.
kittens.
Wait a minute.
Even for real
Wait a minute.
cats.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Wait a second.
Hmm.
So, names like One Whisker is okay. So if you name a kitten 50, and then make their
No!
last name Gray, so you get 50 Gray.
I feel like that's too high a number for practical purposes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like naming a cat One Whisker in general is kind of too much in practical but I'm just saying.
Didn't One Whisker have a different name before they were One Whisker?
No,
No.
they were one kitten everything. Imagine if he had like
Poor
siblings and everything. Like he had litter mates and he was just named
Wait,
One
I thought
Kit.
that was One
I
Eye.
had litter mates and they all died.
No, One Eye was named
Oh
White
yeah, she's
Eye.
White Kit.
I thought she
Yeah.
had a different name.
Yeah, she was White Kit.
She was just White Kitten always. And then when she was
Yeah.
an apprentice, she got named White, or she got her eye messed up by a badger, I think.
Yeah.
And then Pine Star, with all his genius, named her White Eye, like a jerk.
Gotta love
And then I
the
guess she
leaders
lost her eye after that? I don't know.
I just figured that her eye just got worse and worse. Like she got cataracts in it, like most old people do.
Well, I was just thinking about going from White Eye to One Eye because they kind of.
I mean, like, technically you could call me One Eye because I don't see out of one of them. Like, it's completely blind. Not completely, just mostly.
I think that was one of the most horrifying things about Brightheart for me, was that growing up I had a dog rip up my side of my face. And so when I read through the book and it was like, yeah, a dog just ripped off half her face and now her name is fucking Lost Face. I'm like,
Did
You're
you
like,
think
wow,
your
that's
parents were
personal.
gonna name you? Did you think your parents were gonna name you, like, I don't know, like...
no, I wouldn't think that, but my mom always had to point it out growing up, and I was like,
Thanks, Mom.
thanks, Mom. I
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks,
Thanks, I
Mom. I'm
hate
not
her.
sensitive about this at all. It totally wasn't a traumatic experience or anything.
Thanks, I hate it.
I've only been bitten by my large dog once, and it was 100% my fault.
I got
Like,
bit-
I've never been bitten by a large dog, as far as I know.
Well,
Yeah.
I was raised with Rottweilers, and we had this really funny face filter thing, and it kind of worked on dogs. So he was laying there minding his own business, and I kept trying to like pick up his head with my hands and like move him and like hold his face, and he didn't like that, so he turned around and bit me on the lip.
And you're like, oh, okay, lesson learned.
And I cried about it. And then my dad was like, we might get rid of him. And I cried about that. I was like, don't get rid of him.
Man,
I was like 6.
Aww.
the only time I got bitten in the face was by a cat, and it, again, my fault entirely. I wanted to snuggle her. She didn't want to be snuggled. I picked her up and placed her on my chest. She was done with me, so she just bit my cheek.
Ooh.
Nah, I was turning 5 and I was mad chilling on the couch and the corgi just jumped up there and was like, ha, I'm gonna just take this real quick, and then took out half my face and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
Dang.
awesome. I'm not
Get
a
off
big
this.
fan
Why
of
don't you yell a
corgis.
little louder?
I feel like corgis are mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you know
There's
what? I
a
will back that.
tendency for smaller dogs to be meaner, but it's more because smaller dogs tend to get taken for granted more often.
Yeah, they got small dog
Mhm.
syndrome, where people will get small dogs and like, that's not a threat. We're not going to train it, and then they become
Whoopsies.
monsters.
Okay, so my abuelo, he was my great grandfather. So he had a bunch of chihuahuas, and they hated everyone except for him. Like, everyone was nice to them and everything. Like, so I'd go to abuelo's house, and like we'd be chilling, and his stupid chihuahuas would just bark at you nonstop, and they were so mean.
Well, that's also because Chihuahuas are just the devil.
They're
yeah,
actually legit the most aggressive breed.
They're just
She-
like someone boiled everything away that was good about them and left like an angry spitting ball of rage.
I think
The
That
only good thing about
Chihuahua-
Chihuahuas is that they can take their sweaters and give them to Dollface and have a sweater that fits her. Which I have done. Her sweater was technically for a Chihuahua.
I've not really
There's nothing
been
I
around
like about
many
chihuahuas.
but my aunt had a Shih Tzu.
Oh,
It's
Shih
just-
Tzus are mean.
Same thing. Like, hated everyone that wasn't my aunt. Would just
The-
growl at them constantly. Like, would stand at, like, the other end of the room and, like, just growl at you from some hidden place. And you're like, what the? Just go.
They're so awful.
Well, my grandmother has a Pomeranian, and he's a jerk to everyone. He doesn't like except for her. But then he actually ended up getting some sort of like weird stomach fungus, and he was doped up for a while, and now he doesn't care. So that's how that worked out.
I
He's not
know
doped up anymore, but he just doesn't care anymore.
Shih Tzus are described as an only child kind of pet, so that you can't have. Typically, you shouldn't have kids because they really don't like it when other things get more attention than they do.
Which is a
Really?
terrible quality in a dog.
Yeah.
That's a terrible quality in anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's pit bulls, which are just really sweet dogs, but
Right?
They're big babies.
They're big babies.
Okay,
they're
now,
also like all they want to do in the world is please their human.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately why there are prized despite dogs.
well,
Ugh.
that and their neck is so short that it's hard for another dog to, kill them.
Yeah.
And so
The
that's
only
why-
thing is their ears, so that's why they crop them that short.
yeah,
Mhm.
Animal abuse
and they also have
sucks.
thick skin.
Yeah, that too.
Not as thick as a chow though. Chows are technically
beasts.
better.
They're bear hunting dogs, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
their skin is really weird, so that when you cut it, or if it gets hurt, there's a mucus in it, and so it's like very. It's hard to describe, but you really want it off your hands because it's nasty.
Ugh.
When I was working at a vet office,
Is it like oily or what?
it's kind of oily, and then like if it gets like if the hair and the mucus gets in your skin, it really hurts. It doesn't feel good.
Huh. That's
And
interesting.
I remember my first days on the vet office, we had an emergency come in, at the last minute, and it was a chow that looked like it got into a dogfight, and they kept saying, "Oh, it was an accident." But I'm pretty sure that wasn't an accident, but whatever. When I got it all over my hands, I was like, I just need this off of me.
Ugh.
He got stitches and he was fine, but that is also a thing.
Well, I guess I'm fighting Melanie now in Pokemon Shield.
Oh.
Let's try not to die, folks. Not that my team isn't egregiously overleveled or anything. Looks at my team of 46. Looks at her team of level 40s. Yeah, I think I'll be alright.
I just feel so bad for Hop every time I come. He shows up, he's like, let's battle!
I'm gonna
Such a
get
good
you
boy.
this time, and you're just like, oh no, buddy.
Oh, no.
Hop is not having a good
Poor
time.
Hop.
I love
And he's
Hop.
just like, dang, I'm gonna beat my brother one day, and then he just gets beaten by everyone.
Yeah.
He just gets so
Poor
depressed
boy.
halfway through the game. I'm like,
I know, he's just like, I'm terrible, guys. I'm not worth anything. And I'm like, Hop, I love you.
I would let you beat me if the game would let me carry on. But no.
I have to beat you.
Hop is the reason I absolutely love the post game.
He's
Like-
just out there to have a good time.
He's such a good boy.
Oh geez, that moment when you like erase some of your guidelines and suddenly the face looks way bigger than you thought it did.
You're like, oh wait. Is it what I
Oh.
wanted?
Nightshade.
I apologize for being late, but I literally woke up about probably 15 minutes ago.
Wow, mood.
Sure, I'll
Sounds
get
like you
Rosetta.
need a nap.
Oh, dude, I've been in college, so like I've been pulling all nighters trying to get essays and stuff done on time. And then it's snowing and stuff outside, so every time I get under my blankets, it's so warm. I'm like, alright.
I love that feeling.
I woke up several times this morning where I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. Should I get up?
I just
No.
recently bought new sheets, and they are so soft. I just
Oh.
do not want to leave my bed.
I mean, I don't want to leave my bed anyway.
Yeah.
You know-
Soft
I mean,
sheets are definitely plus.
One of my roommates bought a weighted blanket, and she
Yeah.
puts it on me every so often, and I just, it's so good.
It just crushes you. Like, I got one that's like 20 pounds, and I put it over me, and then all of a sudden, like, I feel like I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Like she put it on me when she first got it, and she was like, "Here, feel it, try it out." And I fell asleep,
Uh-huh.
and I woke up because she took it off of me because she wanted it, and I was like, "Why?"
No, that's
Let me
mine
see.
now.
Take it
You
off.
gave it to me.
Because she's rich, so she has like one of those top of the line fancy ones.
Oh dang.
Oh.
Yeah, she's loaded. She's a trust fund baby.
Come on, baby.
Good thing to have a good person to have as a friend.
Oh. Bros.
Ah,
My
I'm trying to
cat
make
has
this eye
joined.
shape more gentle, but I draw a lot of like meaner characters or ones that have like pointier eye styles, so it's kind of difficult for me to do this like rounder eye shape. It's weird.
That's
I
why
like
get
doing
one of those.
pointy eyes.
Go on.
There we go. That's fine. That's good enough.
Oh, by the way, there's a store called Ollie's. I know it's like around, and they sell stuff that's pretty cheap. They also sell weighted blankets. I'm just saying. That's where I got.
Nice.
My cat has joined the chat.
Baby,
Bless.
Hey, cat.
Kitty.
Cat.
She is very
my cat is somewhere. I don't know where she went off to. She's probably in the living room on her cat tray.
Let me
Nope,
see if
she's
I
in
can get a
Mothra.
picture. Hey, Coco. Look at me. Trying to take a picture of you.
Oh, you know what's also kind of funny? I'll throw a blanket over my dog.
Sorry.
Her name's Jingles. She's big and fat,
No.
and she'll immediately get out from under it. But if I throw a weighted blanket over her, you'll watch her struggle for like 5 seconds, and then she'll just lay there.
It's like I give up.
She's an old lady.
This is my life
Dolphins-
now.
force herself under your blankets. Like, if you're laying there with a blanket, she'll, like, shove her nose under it and do everything she can to get under the blanket with you.
Aw.
No.
Aww.
Jingles
My dog
overeats
at home
too easy.
is turning 11, and he has really thin hair, so he gets cold.
Aww.
And my dad bought him a blanket,
Okay.
and we tuck him in every night.
Aw, that's so sweet.
And he likes it. He likes being tucked in. He gets kind of grumpy if you don't tuck him in before bed.
Hey.
He sleeps in the hall. So if you like try to go in your room without tucking him in, he looks at you and just whines at you.
Hello, I'm here.
So he gets tucked. Yeah, he gets tucked in. He's a big brat. He's a Great Dane Basset Hound mix.
Oh, that sounds sweet.
That sounds very wrinkly.
He's very wrinkly. He's very wrinkly and very fat.
Aw.
He doesn't like exercising. We try to take him out walking so he doesn't get like really overweight, and we try to put him on a diet, but it just doesn't work. I don't understand how it doesn't work.
Does he just, like, stop walking?
Yeah, he does that whole thing where he just sits down and doesn't want to get back up.
He's like, come on, Betty. This is for your own
The body is
good.
very determined to keep its shape.
Alright, guys, my boyfriend's here, so I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for joining
Bye.
us.
I got a fat English Labrador. I've had her since I was 10. So now that I'm 20, she's about 11.
Mhm.
And nothing stresses me out more than acknowledging that she's old.
Just like, oh,
Like-
no.
I see the grays on her face, and like it's like slowly seeping up from her like mouth up,
Oof.
and like you can see it on her eyebrows and stuff. And she'll look at me, and I'm like, no, nah, she's still young.
And she's not allowed to get old.
Yeah,
See,
That's
mine's
not how
got a
that
white
works.
face. Mine has a white face, so you can't tell.
My kitty is in the chat. General.
And when my Rottweiler started getting old, he started looking old when he was like 8. But that's
Aw.
because he's a Rottweiler and they live like 8 to 10 years normally.
look at
Yeah.
that baby.
He was 12 when he died though,
I
so he got a
lost
long life.
my dog, my first dog. Her name was Holly. Back when I was probably around 10, or no, Jingles and her lived for a while, so it was around 12. She died at the age 16. She was an old lady. I miss that dog.
Yeah, Samson was 12 when he died, but he was gray for a good 4 years before he was actually like, and he didn't act like an old person either. He was really like jumpy and inner.
I think the worst thing that happened to Holly that made her look so old was we had a flea problem for a little bit, and so we went through we were desperate at that point because I think we had it for a while. And we were going through so many different flea medications. One of them she had an allergic reaction to, and all of her fur looked patchy. It didn't come back after. So
Oof.
it was a mess. But it was funny because Jingles or Holly would kind of do a small grin at you, and she'd walk at you, but her tooth kind of got snaggled, and she'd limp, and so she's all beat up. She's like, "Hey, give me that ham." It used to scare the neighbors. They're like, I don't want that dog near us." But she was a good girl. Can I put a picture of Jingles in general?
Absolutely.
I mean, I took it upon myself to put my cat in the chat, so go
Share
ahead.
cats.
Share pets.
Some of us do not have cats.
I don't have
This
a
is
cat.
the only thing we get. Only way we get
Yes.
My
Or
mom
dogs.
doesn't like cats.
Dogs are also good.
It's good to see pictures of cats, rather than have a cat, so you don't have to deal with all the bastard energy.
Yeah,
My mom,
true.
That is a
my mom
point.
doesn't like cats because her sister had a cat when they were younger, and her sister's cat didn't like her.
Oh.
So she just doesn't
Aw.
like cats at all. Which I told her that was really rude because that was one cat.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
was like, I don't
Don't
trust them.
stereotype all cats.
Alright. That's also like the kind of shade I have at my own mom, because she, growing up, would point out some of my scars, even though they faded. You know, because they faded pretty well. You can hardly see them nowadays. Like, you
And if
see
you're
it,
that young,
it looks like I have I cried really hard on one side of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I have a line going down from underneath my eye. She'll point that out. Yet, she'll be angry at pit bulls, but not acknowledge the fact that a corgi was the one that ripped up my face. Like,
What?
bruh. She hates pit bulls. Like,
why? There's nothing to hate about pit bulls. They're very sweet
like, they're
babies, and they
vicious
just want to make you
dogs.
happy.
Propaganda!
she's like, they're vicious dogs or whatever. And I'm like,
There's not a single vicious thing. Pit bulls don't have a vicious bone in their body.
and then I pointed out a corgi. I'm like, you know what that is, right? And she's like, oh, look at this dog. I'm like, what?
Well, are you
what?
serious?
You cannot
Just
be
like-
serious, Delana. Really?
That is so bizarre.
I almost
It's-
want to get
it's
up to
that,
and a corgi just to prove a point.
It's that media-centered pit bull hatred that always gets talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like
really
in the UK, you can't have pit bulls and bring them out in public without a muzzle on them.
That's
That's
sad.
ridiculous.
Which is weird because, like, I was walking through London and every single freaking dog that I saw was A, not on a leash, B, looked like a pit bull.
Yeah, it's a law that they can't have them without a muzzle on. Because they're, quote, vicious dogs that will attack, which is some bull.
It's so
I
frustrating.
think people who think that about pit bulls have never met a pit bull in their
I mean, I think it's responsible for people to, especially, I mean, really any dog. If you're out walking your dog, like, it's probably just a good idea to have a muzzle on them in general. It just shows that, like, you care about other people and, you know, you don't want anything to happen to your dog. You don't want anything, like, bad to happen. Because sometimes, like, people are crazy and they'll run up to your dogs and spook them, you know? Like, things happen.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
to force it only onto one breed is...
Dumb.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's irresponsible at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a good point about having muzzles in general.
Yeah.
Because if a dog bites someone, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even if it was completely justified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's a very terrible way of looking at it. Dogs need rights, honestly. That's an animal rights issue.
Mhm.
You know, I
Yeah.
actually agree with that. Like, I personally think a dog that's offensively attacking something, that's a problem.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
But defensively attacking, that's completely different. And I think it's
If-
wrong
if
to put
a-
down a dog.
If a kid walks up to a dog and starts grabbing on the dog's ears and the dog kind of whimpers and then the dog bites after a minute, that's not the dog's fault. That's the child's parents' fault for not teaching them
Yeah.
Definitely.
how to be around an animal.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Oh, you guys want to know something mildly funny?
Sure.
To me, it is, at least. On my right side was where the dog bit me. And I noticed years later that I had a big line across my left side. And I come to find out that about a week later after I got out of the hospital from getting my face all wrecked up by a dog, my babysitter's cat nailed me across the cheek with their claws.
Oh,
And so, it's kind of ironic that I'm going into, like, pre-vet and wildlife biology and stuff because I'm just gonna get beaten up.
oh yeah. I mean, I grew up on a farm, and there was always a ton of barn cats, and usually I was the only one who really interacted with them. So, like, as a kid, I had claw marks, scratches, bites, just all over me all the time.
Oh.
But, like, it was because like I was the only person like willing to be around them, and like a lot of times, I'd catch them, and if you're trying to tame feral cats, which a lot of them I was able to tame feral cats, sometimes you just kind of have to hold them until they stop fighting you and you realize that, you're not going to hurt them. And, yeah. So I was always clawed up, something fierce.
I also had a bunch of scars on my arms from sugar gliders. Because I'm allergic to those, apparently.
Oh.
I'm
It's an
allergic to their
interesting
saliva,
thing to be allergic
specifically.
to.
What is it?
A sugar
A sugar glider?
What are those?
Yeah, sugar gliders are marsupials.
Those are tiny little marsupials that are absolutely adorable.
Yeah?
Oh, they're
They
beautiful.
also need to be had in pairs. You
I
can
can
only have two
Yes,
of them at the same
They will
time.
commit
Or else they would
suicide
like
together.
die of loneliness or something.
Oh.
I'll put a picture of a sugar glider in the general.
I
They're
had
really cute.
one that was molasses, the molasses color, or color pattern. Let me pull it up.
I didn't know they had color patterns, but that makes sense because that is like the first thing that happens as soon as we domesticate something.
We start doing the yes, make it a brighter color.
Even that, it just starts happening too.
That's
A
true.
lot of the time.
We have two white ones. One of them's named Ghost, and the other one's Boo. And then we have the molasses color one. His name was Grizz. And we had one that was a regular one named Ozzy. Ozzy was a jerk, but I loved Ozzy. But I found out that I was allergic to their saliva, and they'd lick their claws. And so when they grabbed me, I would have welts all over because because they're small and they just keep grabbing you. Every time they grab you, they're climbing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so once they're climbing up you, they just shred you. And,
Ooh.
normally for people, it's just tiny little marks on them at most.
Right.
But then I just get a bunch of scars and stuff because they just shredded me. I'm like, alright.
Cool, guys.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I didn't think their teeth were big enough to do anything to humans.
Oh, no, they're not. I mean, they hurt, sure. But, it's not... it's not like they can actually do some real damage. I'm just allergic to their saliva. Also, I love sugar gliders crabbing. The noise they make when they're upset is hilarious to me. You can't even simulate it. There's no way I can even come close to making the same noise.
Want to know a funny animal?
I know.
Chickens.
Oh, I thought you were going to say patoos.
What?
Patoos!
Oh, the bird?
The bird!
I like
That is
ruffs.
a funny
Ruffs are funny
animal.
birds.
Patoos are, they look like when you're trying not to make eye contact with the teacher when they're asking a question.
I just looked up a picture and...
Or
oh
like
my
somebody
Lord.
just stepped on their foot.
That is a funny looking animal.
I love animals.
So there's this comedy blog that I don't know if they're still active or not, where they were just... The whole thing was that they drew Firestar with a patoo-like face.
Oh no!
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Yes.
And then
And
there's
it
one
is...
where it's you're related to Firestar because you have that facial expression.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cloudtail's got it too, Leafpool's got it, Squirrelflight did not get it,
Bless.
as I'm sure she's probably grateful.
I always kind of imagine Squirrelflight looked like her mother.
Yeah.
She's always
Like-
sassy like her mom.
My design for Leafpool is that she looks like Princess.
Hmm.
I always imagined she looked a lot more like her aunt than her parents.
I like this thing of having a character have the colors of the cat that the books say they look like, and then having them have the build of the other parent.
Yeah.
Bramblestar looks like Golden Flower.
Yes.
That is the only acceptable way you can have Bramblestar.
Yeah, like, I really like Bramblestar that just has Tiger Star's pelt and doesn't look like him in any other way, shape, or form. So he just kind of only looks like Tiger Star at a glance if you're not paying much attention.
Well, I would say that he'd still have his broad shoulders, because I think that's even mentioned at one point.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
rest of them
that
look
too,
like
but
a golden flower. Like
I think his face and the way his fur is
Yeah,
more
it's-
Golden Flower to me.
his face fur should be like more like golden flower's face fur. Face fur.
Well, that's how I have my tiger. My Tiger Star looks like his mom, and he's fluffed up like his dad. And then Bramblestar ended up looking he's kind of more built like his dad, but his fur lays more like his mom's, and he's a little bit more rounded in the face like his mother.
Nice.
A lot of
Also, I
always had
really
canon that
like
a
when
lot of
people make
think.
leopard foot a smoke cat. Smoky
think
cats are
that's-
cool.
I like leopard fur like that. I really like leopard fur in general. I think she's a cool character.
I said leopard foot fur, didn't I? I meant leopard foot.
Yeah, now you got me on it. I think leopard foot is just like a really cool character, though. She's
Yeah.
just like she's cool. They needed to do more with her, I think.
Yeah.
There's just a lot there that's like, eh?
Tell
Like
me
the whole
more.
thing with her is like, oh yeah, leopard foot. Yeah, cool. Can I have some more information? And then the Aarons are like, no.
Or they're
Like,
like,
oh, that's a really
she
cool
was in
name.
love with Tiger Star, and you're like, not that information.
No, his mom.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm like okay, like not okay with it, but like is because leopard and tiger, but like that's it.
But that's it.
Prefixes, and their prefixes is what made it kind of interesting for me because they're talking
Okay.
about like the different clans.
Okay,
Can we also
so-
talk about how Gray Stripe is getting the Super Edition instead of Leopard Star?
Can we talk about like? I'm
I
assuming.
mean, is he
we're gonna
getting
watch
it
Grace
instead of
die.
her, or is it
Well,
just
probably
he's
Well,
getting
in-
not,
one?
but I'd
and-
rather she get one.
Yeah.
I think
It's
she
more
should
like
have
he's
to be
getting
fair,
one and she's
as the
not.
way things are going right now, you could say that because she does not have one.
She needs one more than he does. Why do we need a Gray Stripe one? He already has a manga.
Because hopefully he'll die at the end of the book. That is the only... Like, if he doesn't die at the end of his book, I write.
Plus, I
I'm
think
just
it's
like, okay,
tying
this is
in
completely
To
unnecessary.
the current thing somehow.
It's just sad to me if he doesn't die, because literally everyone else he like really knows is dead.
Yeah.
They're all... He's just old and all his friends are dying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't they
There's
say that Black Star was gonna get a Super Edition?
He's getting a
no.
novella.
novella.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be the treatment.
Someone
for
said something
Leopard Star
about in
anyway.
chat. That's probably true.
Because I can't imagine
So,
them having a whole lot to talk about Leopard Star because,
But there
They
is
did-
so much you can talk about with Leopard Star.
well, I mean there is, however, not a whole super edition.
I think
I would-
so. I think there is a
I
whole
mean, to be
Super
fair, I
Edition
didn't
worth
really
of
think there'd be a
Leopard
whole super edition's worth of stuff for Blue Star, Tall Star, Crooked Star,
Yeah.
Yellow
Crooked Star
Fang.
Yeah, but do you
especially.
want to watch them get treated like that though? Do you want Leopard Star treated like Blue Stars?
Yeah, but if it's anything
I like
Crooked
Blue Star
Stars or
Super
Tall
Edition.
Stars, like, that could be really good.
I don't know. The only reason why I am kind of hesitant towards that is because they established a lot of characters from our time already with Crooked Stars,
Yeah.
and
I
so never mind. Go on.
There's just not a lot about RiverClan prequels wise at least just since they just have Crooked Star, because Crooked Star Super Edition isn't as much about exposing what happens in River Clan as much as like Yellow Fangs and Tall Stars were. Like Tall Stars was like in between Crooked Stars and Yellow Fangs.
Tall Stars top tier, though.
Tall Stars explained a lot of stuff that happened in Wind Clan that you had no context for in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. And I wish they would do something like that with Leopard Star, because they didn't really show too much of a difference with River Clan and Thunder Clan and Crooked Star Super Edition, because it wasn't really based on what was happening. It was based on the fact that, you know, he got his whole jaw messed up and that ruined his life, basically.
Yeah.
And I just think they could go more in depth with it. And her father is a medicine cat, which is another cool angle that you can go from.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's something that there probably should be something more about, because, you know, we got Mothlight going, no medicine cat can have kids ever because I don't have enough babysitters.
But then her dad also has a cool angle to where he wasn't always a medicine cat. Like, he was a warrior first, and then he decided he didn't want to hurt anyone anymore, so he went to go be a medicine cat. That's so cool. Why didn't they talk about that more? And they've talked about it like it's not completely uncommon, because there's a bunch of instances where it has happened where someone was training to become a warrior and then they ended up going to medicine cats because it was their path or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, choosing to become a medicine cat after being a warrior just sounds way more interesting.
Instead of being forced to be
Yeah.
a medicine cat, like everyone in
Oh,
Thunder
the
Clan.
forced to be a medicine cat thing is so tired.
It's so old and it's toxic and it's gross and it's like,
It's like, well, it
Also,
makes it
It's like,
sound
can we just
like
stop now?
it makes it sound like medicine cat isn't one of the most respected positions of the
it
clan.
makes it sound like a chore.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was also like
Right.
I read a comic where it
Granted,
was like
Broken Code has the broken codeness going on, but, like,
Yeah.
even in Vision of Shadows, it's not really, the medicine cats don't really get a lot of respect.
I mean, like, in the first series, like, Spotted Leaf even has a line where she talks about how even Tiger Star wouldn't argue with a medicine cat.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the idea that Tiger Star wouldn't go against a medicine cat is something else completely.
Yeah, and
that
like,
was, like,
Cinderpaw orders them around at some point while she's still Cinderpaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she helped Silverstream give birth, because she was a medicine cat, and the
She's, like,
the
shutting his
subtext
dog
with that
and doing
was that the subtext with that was that Tiger Star had enough respect and understanding of medicine cats to respect them,
Yeah.
and that was the whole subtext there. But I mean, with the recent books, it's kind of like medicine cats just exist and they don't demand any respect.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like if anybody says no to a medicine cat, it's like no big deal. If you're like, no, I can't do that for you, it's like, okay. Whereas, you know, in the first series, if you said no to a medicine cat, it's like, are you fucking
Everyone would
dude?
like rage.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Are you kidding?"
in the first book,
Where's
just
your
a
respect,
rumor
bro?
made it so that Ravenpaw couldn't walk around the nursery. Like there was so much intense stuff going on in the first set.
It's almost like somebody at HarperCollins took the Warriors part a little bit too literally.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, it's just a lot of the things that happen in the books as compared to what happened in the first books. It's like no one cares about anything at all. Like, it's like someone could murder someone, like with Hollyleaf murdering Ashfur, and everyone was like, "Oh, I guess Ashfur's dead." But like
And also,
when all that happened, like in the first series, everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're dead. How did they die?" And then like even the rumor that Ravenpaw was working with Shadow Clan had the entire clan on guard around him. Like that wouldn't happen in like the main series unless it was plot relevance.
I
now.
wonder if that says more about Ashfur than the rest of ThunderClan.
I also want to
But
say that
Ashfur
like
was
half the
still like
characters.
a really respected warrior and stuff.
He was a senior warrior and he'd been around since the Old Forest, which at that point was kind of not as common, I feel like. and like they were all getting kind of old, and he made the journey, which is kind of like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and he trained Lion Blaze.
Yeah.
That on its own is something else. Like,
Well, not
he
only
trained Lion Blaze.
but was a good enough warrior he could beat Lion Blaze in combat.
Yeah. Like,
So you think that at least
yeah.
be like, holy shit, somebody managed to kill Ashfur.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, and it's kind of implied that all the apprentices from that time, like when they had the whole like Blood Clan battle, were all kind of like in cahoots a little bit because they all were coordinated enough to take down Bone all together. So you would have thought at least that like Brambleclaw and, you know, like Brightheart would have been at least a little bit shaken up that this guy that they were apprentices with, well, kind of Brightheart, you know, that they were kind of like in the same group as him, and then he just like shows up dead one day. Like, that's, they should have been a little bit more shocked and amazed about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
also,
should have
side
been
note,
more concerned.
a lot of the side characters just don't have a lot of.
They don't have the same personality
personality
that they do in, like, in the first series. Everyone had a personality, at least a little bit.
And they'd all be gossiping and stuff, and you get to hear them. But nowadays, they're just like stone statues in the background. Hey, you want to go on patrol?
Right. Well, and when they do gossip,
I'll go on patrol with you.
Like very obvious.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's
like
something that doesn't need to be said.
yeah.
It's like, it went... I almost consider, like, the mid books, I guess, like the mid arcs, to be more children's books than the first series. Because the first series is still, while it's still really obvious, like, what's happening, it doesn't make you feel like you're 2 when you're reading it. Like, I feel like they over-explain things.
I mean,
And they
that's
don't
not really a feature of a children's book.
Over-explaining? I mean,
No,
they
yeah.
make it really obvious, but I just kind of
That's
feel
more
like
a
I'm being
feature of a
treated like a
bad book.
child.
know.
That's I'm
Because
it's
good
something-
children's books don't over-explain things.
I don't know. I haven't read like a true children's books in like years, so I wouldn't remember.
I am
haven't been
no
a child in
child.
forever. I haven't been a child in forever.
Let I suggest again, Animorphs. Because they are very much kids' books. They're about very serious and heavy topics, but they are definitely for kids.
You know what
feel
really
like-
shouldn't probably be for kids?
What?
Wings of Fire.
Yeah.
You read some of those deaths and you're like, ooh.
The one that I always point to is, Arctic?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Arctic.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that should be in a kid's book. He literally disembowels himself. It's like, no, that's not, no.
To be fair, I'm not sure that should be an adult book either.
Mm,
I don't know. It's sick though.
I have one horrible...
Sickening to think about.
I have one memory of going to a basketball game and reading a book because I hate sports. And I was reading, like, Legends Darkstalker. And I had a kid
Oh, no.
who was around, like, maybe 3rd grade, turn around, look at me, and they're like, oh, I love that book series. And I'm like, oh, no.
I mean, kids,
The only thing that I
kids
think is
like
fine
dark
is that they don't
material.
really understand. And they also don't really completely get everything that's happening. They understand that sunshine and rainbows, but like they're also not reading disembowelment and graphically imagining the,
Like, to
you
be
know,
fair, back when I
sometimes
was-
they are.
out.
Yeah.
When I was in the 5th grade, I read the final book in the first series, and I was like, neat. And now looking back at it, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Well, I only think like that because I didn't imagine it vividly, not as much as I do as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I took medical classes after that point, and when I reread
Yeah,
it, I was like, oh, that was just working everywhere.
Because like
I know as a
When
kid,
I was
that's
younger,
one of the
I had
reasons
no
I
idea.
enjoyed animal books more is because they were more graphic.
Oh. Coco,
Well, I
appreciate
remember
you.
that was
I
a
love
reason
you.
why it didn't make me nervous when I was younger, because I had no idea what was happening. I was like, oh, he's dead. That sucks. Like, it didn't have any bearing on me. I didn't know any different. I didn't even really know what it would have looked like. I had no concept, no
You know-
basis.
What movie really messed me up as a kid? Or not like messed me up, but I didn't like a lot because it had the same kind of thing. It was, I think, I Am Number 5 or something like that. And
Oh,
Number
that
4.
Tim Burton one?
super graphic.
Yeah,
like-
that one scared my sister when we were...
I watched it
I am number 4, where they're like being hunted because they're aliens or something.
some of that nature, and whenever one of them dies, and like they get like this mark on their leg or something or other, and I just remember like one of them like being shot through the head or something. I don't know what that was. No,
It
he
was
wasn't
like
even
rated
one of them.
PG.
He was just like a random person, and they murdered him on screen, but like he just
They were like
bled
puppets.
everywhere.
And it was like,
You both are talking about 2 completely different movies.
are we?
Are we?
Yes. So
I'm
there was
thinking
a
of,
movie
like-
called 9. That's the one
That's what
by
I'm
Tim
thinking.
Burton with the sock puppets. And then there is I Am Number 4, which was one of the many YA adaptation movies to come out after Harry Potter and Twilight were big.
Oh, I probably never... I'm thinking of 9, because that
No,
one
it
was
wasn't animated.
scary.
It was humans, and so
Okay,
you
no,
just
9
got to
was-
watch humans die on screen.
9 was like rated PG, but it was also like really scary, and
Oh, I remember
graphics-
9.
that scared my sister when we were younger, but I was...
Yeah, 9 was a lot of animated horror.
Well, the only Tim Burton movie I ever watched is Nightmare Before Christmas, so...
I never actually fully watched Corpse Bride.
I love
Oh, I
Corpse
have
Bride.
watched Corpse Bride, not all the way through, and I did enjoy it,
Corpse Bride's okay.
but again...
The main thing I like about Corpse Bride is the music.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
It's
know
always the
one
best
song
part
from there.
of...
I just know one. It's like it's from specifically the Spotted Leaf map.
Yeah.
You know the one.
That's
Yeah.
not even like the best song in the whole movie, though.
What song is it? I don't know this one.
Tears to Shed.
But she still breathes
Tears to
air.
Shed, there we go.
The best one is when they're singing about how she died.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
The Remains of the
jazzy and
Day.
cool.
I watched it probably, like, 10 years ago, and I hardly remember any of it.
I actually saw that in
Die,
theaters.
die, we all pass away.
I was not
Sorry.
old enough to see that in theaters.
Tim Burton was like really big when that movie came out.
Mm-hmm. He really was.
So I recently rewatched the horrific rabbit movie. What was it called?
Watership Down.
Watership Down.
Ugh.
If you want to feel
They made a
sad,
Netflix one.
if you
that's
wanna
pretty
feel
good.
Sad, watch Plague Dogs. I feel like it's way better than.
Do not watch Plague Dogs unless you are in the mood for sads.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Plague Dogs. I've watched a review on it, and that alone was enough to make me cry.
Mm-hmm. I
The shock.
love
I don't
Plague
cry at
Dogs. I'm not
movies.
big on Watership Down. I think Watership Down's okay. But I love Plague Dogs. But it makes you sad. It makes you very, very sad.
All right. So what
Watership
about the
Down is
cat
kind of
movie?
like Warriors, where it's the world building is the real great part of it.
See, and I don't care. Like, you're absolutely correct, but I also just really don't care for the world building of Watership Down. Like,
Which is fair.
I don't know. It just doesn't draw me in.
Okay, but can we talk about that horrific movie that you did a review on, Tennille?
Felidae?
Felidae?
Oh,
Felidae.
It looks like a movie that came out from Disney right after like 101 Dalmatians.
Did you watch the dub or did you do it with subtitles?
I've seen both.
I love Felidae. Feliday's
I watched
such a
whatever
good
free
movie.
version was on YouTube.
That was the dub.
Yes, because it's originally a German movie,
Mm-hmm.
which, if it's something you didn't know, probably explains a bit about the movie.
Yeah, I watched Neil's review on it, so I kind of understand it now.
If anything, it explains. It kind of shows you that everyone in the world is better at making new movies for adults than America is. Because America has this stigmatism that if it's a cartoon, it's for a kid.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah.
or if it is going to be something adult, it has to be specifically only about sex. It's just like,
Sausage Party.
yeah.
On that note, Birds of Prey was really good, because it didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw it, like, at 10:30 this morning, so.
Nice.
Well, Harley Quinn
It's
is
on my
arguably
mind.
one of the best characters in the DC.
It's too bad she's not treated that well, though.
Oh, of course she's not. She's a woman, and it's comics.
Yeah, no, I'm
Just
I'm
really
not
hit the
talking
nail on the
about.
head there.
I'm not talking about comics. I mean, if you
I'm a sequential
cosplay
arts
her,
major. Of course, I care.
Yeah.
if you cosplay her out and about, like in a costume of her and stuff, people will like basically attack you about it.
Yeah.
That goes with the comic book standpoint.
Yeah.
It's the gross neck beardness of it.
Ugh. Neck beards. There,
Because God forbid.
Like, putting together a styrofoam box over there.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to put together a dragon sewing pattern.
Ah!
And
Okay.
I was taping two pieces together and rubbing it against the table.
Gotcha.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the Warriors fandom.
Oh.
It's a little bit of a spicy one, but I want to talk about it.
Is it Dove Wing's
Thistleclaw.
eyes?
It's Thistleclaw.
Oh, Thistleclaw. Here we go.
I don't hate Thistleclaw.
Uh-huh.
I just have very mixed feelings, and it all depends on how you feel about him based on what you consider canon hierarchy.
Yeah.
that
I
is
want
true.
to say that I don't think. Okay, so if I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this under the stance that I don't consider Spotted Leaf's Heart or the weird Dark Forest part of Crooked Star's Promise being like utmost canon.
Okay.
If we're looking objectively, I don't think Thistleclaw was that bad of a character, but that's all considering only what was said about him in Blue Star's Prophecy and the beginning of Into the Wild. If you look at him only through that, he's just a grumpy dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of what happened with him was just that the Errands were like, we need a bad guy that is two-dimensional besides Tiger Claw, who has a connection to Tiger Claw. So let's make him bad, and then write a bunch of other things that are completely unrelated to where he's already been in to make him worse.
Well, I mean, there's also the factor that we're looking through Blue Star's eyes.
Yeah,
And
Blue
she
Star an
is
unreliable
paranoid.
narrator. Well, and I mean, like, the way you can read the book is she's a unreliable just by virtue of her being
Because, like,
the way she
even
is.
if you do consider Spotted Leaf's Heart canon, Blue Star doesn't know about any of that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, well, okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Blue Star's Prophecy, but I thought that was one of the more interesting parts about that book, is that you can take that as, like, it's yet again one of those things where it makes Blue Star a worse character, because you realize what an unreliable narrator she is, and, like, Thistleclaw doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. Like, if you try and look at it from not her point of view. And that's a really interesting part of that book, but it's also like, why do we, like, love and respect Blue Star so much if she's just, like, this crazy person?
Because Firestar does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Firestar
Which makes
looks
you
at
think,
her
is
like
Firestar an
she's
unreliable?
Tyrone.
But if you want to look at that, is Firestar an unreliable narrator because of the way he paints Blue Star? Was she always neurotic?
He's probably the most reliable narrator we've had.
But I'm also not sure that's saying much.
Yeah, because I don't consider anyone a reliable narrator.
I don't.
If anything's first
Brambleclaw.
person, it's not really reliable.
Yeah.
Brambleclaw was very unreliable.
Oh
Oh,
god,
he's a
don't
mess.
even get me
Squirrelflight.
started on Brambleclaw.
A
Poor
girl.
Squirrelflight!
I wish they left him alone. I wish they let him be how he was in the first series when he was a good baby and everyone loved him.
Yep.
I
Not give him
honestly
this
can't really
weird
blame
energy.
anybody that read the new prophecy and stopped there for hating Squirrelflight, because
I do
when
not
you are
like
seeing
New
her
Prophecy.
almost entirely from... Well, does anyone?
thought she
When
was
you're seeing
fine.
her almost entirely from Brambleclaw's perspective, she is so freaking annoying.
Yeah.
Well, on top
Because
of
of
it,
how the
always
narration
right.
is always like, oh my god, she's annoying.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're actually paying attention to what she's doing and what she's saying.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't like her because she made me think of myself.
Brambleclaw was also like, ugh, girl. A girl is correct. Ugh.
Oh, no, it was, ugh. New Prophecy, man.
Ugh, how does a baby know things?
Prophecy drives me absolutely nuts.
New Prophecy is the beginning of the end in terms of good characterization from the first couple series.
I mean, I feel like obviously this is just my opinion, but I feel like New Prophecy is the worst arc.
Yeah.
That they did, and I know that's saying a lot because a lot of people really dislike Omen of the Stars, but I'd rather have the characters.
I don't like Omen of the Stars.
I'd rather have the characters from Omen of the Stars, even if the story is absolutely infuriatingly bad.
Omen
I
of
love
the
Ivy Pool
Stars-
so much. I loved her arc so much. I was very confused when people were being mad about her and calling her whiny.
Like, I like
The only
Ivy
thing
Pool, I
about
like
her-
Dubwing, I love Jake
Because
Feather,
it was
Mind
like,
Blaze, whatever,
everything that's
but-
going on with her makes perfect sense.
There's like a whole thing with that though. I don't know if it's just because of the way the arc is. I didn't like. Okay, so the characters I didn't like reading, the point of view characters that I didn't like reading the most were Leafpool, Lion Blaze, and Dovewing. I thought their chapters were so dry and bland. Like when I was reading New Prophecy, the first time I used to just like skip over Leafpool's
Yep,
or
same.
Leaf Paw's chapters because they were so boring.
There's
Like
just
it just
nothing
made
going
me
on.
feel like I was dragging my feet through like a bed of nails. It was so bad. It made me feel absolutely miserable. And when I was reading Dove Wings and Lion Blazes, it felt like I was flashing back to Leafpool's point of view. It was like awful. I couldn't stand it.
Lion Blaze,
Like-
I 100% agree with. Dubwing, I don't know.
I thought she was annoying. I did not like Dovewing at all, for any reason. I just thought she was too good for me. Like, I feel like she was just like, I'm good for the sake of being good. And she's like, I don't want these powers. But then when you read Dovewing Silence, she's like, oh, I don't know what to do without them, which
Well-
I kind of get. But
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
because she's
get.
had them literally her entire life.
It's like
don't
losing
know.
a sense completely. Like, I
Well,
can't
I mean,
imagine
like-
losing sight.
Well, I'm already half blind, so I don't like understand when people are like, oh, I went blind. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, just do.
Just do.
Like, I'm half. I'm half blind. Like, I can't see out of one eye completely. Like, it's awful. But I also don't know the difference because I've always been half blind.
Well, that's the
So-
difference. Is that
Well, it
she
makes-
hasn't been.
I know, but it makes me like it, and I know it's a me problem, but it makes me like super, super unsympathetic, which is terrible. I know, but since I've always had this issue, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's completely unrelatable to me. It just makes me feel like people are being whiny and complaining, and I'm like, I'm okay. This is an everyday thing.
That's
Why
fair.
are you complaining? Like, and they don't. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I don't like reading about it because to me it just feels like she's complaining about nothing. She's complaining about being able to see, which if I could see out of both eyes, that would be great. But I also wouldn't know what to do with it because I would have earthly idea what that would be. It's just
Which is kind of the same thing, but in reverse.
I guess, but I mean,
But yeah,
I never liked her.
that's fair.
Something about her always rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know if her personality is just something that doesn't fit well with mine. She always just kind of felt like she...
It's honestly probably because she is basically the golden child.
Like, I just don't like goody two-shoes.
It's not so much that she's a goody two-shoes. She is the golden child. She is the favorite. She is the one that she's the one that has all the superpowers. She's the protagonist. She is the favorite, basically.
When I think
I could
about
see
it
that
way, that makes me think of like Harry Potter, where Harry is literally the golden child, but he doesn't act. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like I kind of feel like the way that
he hates it, and it's also just him. Because Dovewing isn't the only prophecy cat there. She gets swapped. She gets. She gets pulled into Jay Feather and Lion Blaze's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the only reason I bring up Harry Potter is because Harry Potter's also part of a trio that's called the Golden. By most people, they're the Golden Trio, and the way I kind of feel like Dovewing being there is almost kind of how I feel about. I don't know how else to say it because they're not the characters in Warriors are not at all like the characters in Harry Potter, but the way she kind of is framed, at least in my mind, was that she complained about being a part of it, but yet she also liked being a part of it on because she liked attention, which is almost how it felt to me. This is how I felt like while I was reading, which may or may not.
That actually makes perfect sense to me.
It kind of made it feel like she didn't want to be a part of it, but if she wasn't going to be a part of it, she would be upset. So it always made me. She would be talking to Ivy, like, I don't understand why you're so mad. I mean, if you weren't part of it, I'm fairly certain that you would be kind of upset. So, she's just hypocrite.
Mm-hmm. She is. It's a
she
character
just is
flaw.
She's just a kid, basically. Because that was the other thing that a lot of people were complaining about with Ivy Pool that I saw at the time, was that it's like, guys, she is a literal child. She wants to belong, and she's not.
That's always how I kind of defend Needletail. But at the same time, I just like hypocrisy is like my number one thing that I can't.
Well,
I can't stand it.
I think the biggest problem with it is that they never really. It's a very vital character flaw of hers, but it's something that they never really address. So it makes it feel like they're excusing her behavior, which isn't what I think the books are trying to do, but that's what they unintentionally do because they just don't ever address it.
I just can't stand her. The way she acts, the way she reacts to things, the way she talks to people, it's almost like she is got a holier than thou attitude, which I mean, I guess.
Oh, I have the same problem with Twig Branch. I do not like Twig Branch at all.
I'm very indifferent towards Twig Branch. I like Violet Shine a lot better than I do like Twig Branch, though. I think Twig Branch is kind of bland, like her name.
Yeah, I just find her very extremely self-centered with no real positive, with not really any positive traits that balance it out. There are positive traits there, but like not ones that help mitigate the whole self-centered and I have to be special or else what am I thing she's got going on.
I think part of the reason why I like Dovewing though is how stubborn she is.
Yeah,
like she's stubborn and thick-headed, but I actually like that about her though.
Yeah,
because
same.
She has an idea and then she's like, all right, well,
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, my idea with that though is I can respect that, but she does things that she will condemn people for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And that's what drives me the most. I cannot stand hypocrisy. It is my biggest thing that I cannot stand, and that's probably why I just don't like her, because she's the biggest hypocrite.
Honestly, that's something that's really endemic in Warriors. That is a huge problem with Warriors overall, period, with almost everybody.
And they're like, oh, it's okay when I do it. But when somebody else does it, how could they dare?
Warriors has a huge protagonist-based morality going on. Obviously, it's not going to be as pronounced with some characters as it is with others.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a problem.
I mean, I just...
And
I feel
definitely
like
probably is one of the worst like that.
Fireheart, I feel like, was... I think he was really good about it, because he was like, I'm doing this, and I know it's bad, but I'm doing it anyway.
He was self-aware.
And then he didn't make excuses for why he was doing it. Because I feel like Dovewing made a lot of excuses, like, oh, well, how can I just let people suffer? But if someone tried to do stuff like that, she was like, oh.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time trying to justify things to herself. It makes sense, but that doesn't necessarily make it less annoying if that's something you find annoying.
Yeah, everything about her is just things that annoy me. So I will never like her. I just can't. I won't. I really can't.
I really like her, but I wish they would have explored her character more.
There's nothing, to me, all her personality traits with empathy, I'm also not an extremely empathetic person, which is also just kind of a trait that a lot of Hispanic people have, which sounds really kind of bad, but it just is. We don't show emotions as much, but it makes empathy kind of difficult. That's how my dad is and his mother, and that's how I am. It's a Hispanic trait. But, I mean, I just, like, her empathy isn't an excuse to do things that are not correct. Because the way she just drives me, probably because of the protagonist-based morality, and she's so blatant about it. Like, it's not even, like, part of what made Fireheart a good protagonist was that he knew he was doing things that weren't allowed, but he knew why he was doing it, and he tried to say, this is why I'm doing it. Doesn't make it any less wrong that I'm doing it, but I'm doing it because I think it's right. And I just kind of felt like she didn't justify herself in the same way. She would do it and then say, well, how could you not?
You've been working for about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, here is a big glass of water.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you already have water.
Hi, Sean!
No, that's
Hi,
not.
yeah, hi, Sean.
Okay. And here's some popcorn.
Oh, thank you.
I would like you to stop,
Uh-huh.
get up,
Uh-huh.
do some stretches, eat some food, drink some water, and then you can get back to it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Get you a husband like Sean.
Everyone
Honestly.
say, get you a husband like Sean.
Try my best.
You're doing great, Sean.
You're doing great.
Kind of reminds me of my boyfriend. He'll catch me up at like late hours and he's like, go to bed. Just go.
Sleep now.
I banished
Bedtime.
thee.
I banished the. He's actually unfriended me on Steam once out of punishment because he caught me at 4 a.m. I was like, oh.
Out of punishment.
That's genuinely hilarious.
That's
Getting up and
fantastic.
stretching.
Don't be cruel.
I'll also get up and stretch. I've been sitting in this chair for like 2 hours now.
See, it's
Also,
nice
you're
to be
in a
talking
study
about,
room, so I'm about to take it.
Dovewing's hypocrisy, but I think the only character that I can think of in Warriors that's really bothered me with that kind of attitude is Leafpool. I find
Leafpool also
Leafpool
bothers
to be
me a lot.
Such
Agonizing.
a hypocrite.
I agree with that too. I just think Leafpool and Dovewing are two sides of the same annoying coin that I just can't stand.
Leafpool got a lot better after we stopped seeing things from her POV.
I
She
don't know, I
has a
feel like
very-
I stopped, like, I don't know. Either from her, if it's in her POV, I find her extremely boring. If it's not in her POV, I'm just like, what the heck is wrong with you?
I mean,
She's
also.
so passive-aggressive and such a hypocrite.
Yeah, it drives me.
Let me badger my sister about her relationships, and then low-key be like, One Clan boys.
I'm sorry to be lurking outside. Well, I got a study room, thank God.
Nice.
These girls finally got up and left, and I felt bad because I was just standing there.
I've been working on shading this cat for 2 hours, and I am considering just scrapping it and just doing normal line art and simple shading.
Sometimes you just need to stop what you're doing and reevaluate.
I just can't get it to look a way I like. Which makes me sad,
Step away
but
from
whatever.
it for a bit then.
That's probably the best thing to do. If you think you can't get it right, then you kind of need to take a step back and rethink. Oh, my water. I love water.
No water from me. Only soda and apple juice.
Apple juice.
Apple juice.
Some apple juice.
Apple
And
juice.
applesauce.
Also, I got a new mic. How does it...
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I forgot to mention that. I got a game set, so now I have a fan to go with it.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's funny. I have a gaming set too, and I used that, and then there was a stream where I used my phone halfway and then my gaming set halfway, and then I re-listened to it, and I'm like, my phone sounds better than my gaming set. What the actual heck?
I have the opposite, where my phone sounds worse than my headset. I mean,
My
a
phone
lot
doesn't
worse.
pick up very well. My phone doesn't pick anything up as compared to the gaming set that picks up.
Yeah, I've got a pair of wireless earbuds in that are really nice, actually.
Nice.
That is nice.
And I posted the thing I was working on in the art channel.
Oh, well, at this point I muted my entire computer, so I can't hear the notifications.
I'm just doodling. I've been doodling the whole time, and also Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I've been playing some Dead by Daylight.
Oh, never
What,
mind. I forgot. My internet.
path are you doing?
Right now, I'm on the Blue Lion. I've already done the Red Eagles,
Nice.
but I'm on Blue Alliance now because I like seeing Dimitri suffer, I guess.
Dimitri!
He's so sad.
He is.
He's like
I
the
started with
number one
Golden
sad
Deer,
boy.
and then I'm doing Eldegard's Path.
I started on the Red Eagles because I thought Edelgard was hot.
Uh-huh.
I'm asexual,
Valid.
but I mean, like, she's hot.
Completely valid.
Yeah.
And I just liked her the most out of all of them, which is not saying a lot because they were all, like, really close in terms of who do I like them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also very upset by the lack of same-sex S-ranks.
Yeah.
And by S-ranks, I mean, like, relationships. Like, you can't look at Claude and tell me he's not bi.
I know, right?
I know, right?
He is, like, the most, like, obvious bi energy I think I've ever seen in a human being ever.
Uh-huh.
I literally went with Golden Deer because of how much Claude's entire character reminded me of one of my favorite characters from DS9, who is frequently described as omnisexual by the actor.
Claude just exudes bi energy, and the fact that he doesn't have a same-sex marriage is disgusting.
I also
It's
kind
that
of really
Japanese
ship him and
homophobia.
Dimitri.
That too. I like Dimitri and Felix because I like that conflict. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Felix is a good egg.
Mm-hmm.
Felix is a good boy. He's Sasuke, basically.
He's grieving.
That too. That's why he's Sasuke. The best thing about Fire Emblem is always the characters. I just wish I could have more freedom in terms of choosing what I pair up together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Faith did that the best with having the most options for each character. I kind of excuse Awakening with most of it because it was literally made to draw people into the game, and they're not going to go, like, really crazy with it.
Yeah, which fair. And Awakening was kind of like, okay, this is the last Fire Emblem we're ever going to make.
Yeah, well,
Unless
that's why
it does
they were
really
making
well.
it really easy to pick up. That was my first game, and it was easy to pick up, so that's why they made it.
Yeah.
Fates is a lot more difficult to just like go, oh, I've never played Fire Emblem before, let me play Fates. You can't really do that. It's a lot of work.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Three Houses was my first 3D Fire Emblem game, and I've only
Aw.
played 3, including it. I have played Fire Emblem, no last name given, and like the Dragonstones or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Both were for like Game Boy Advanced, I'm pretty sure, and I played them both as virtual consoles on the Nintendo.
That's how
Wii
I
U.
played all of them. I played all of them through actually just emulators that I have on my computer.
Yeah.
I played one on the Game Boy Advance, and I thought it was super cool, and I really loved the gameplay. And so when I saw Awakening, I was like, oh, hey! I like this gameplay!
I just kind of want more Fire Emblem. I want another one. I want another full game. I'm not even finished with Three Houses, but I'm already ready for it. I'm always ready for one.
Did you get the Gaiden remake? The
Yes,
Shadows
I
of Valencia? Good.
I did. I like it.
Yes,
I don't
it's
like
very
it
good.
as much as the other one, which I didn't like Gaiden as much as I liked all the other ones either. But that's
fair.
expected. I want more. I want more fire.
Looks like it's time for some more taping, boys.
Tape time.
Tape. Yay.
Duct tape?
No,
Duct
Uh-oh.
tape.
just
Woo.
taping sewing patterns together.
Ah,
All the DLC for all of the fire.
nice.
I
It makes playing Conquest a lot easier.
I just bought
Yeah,
the
Conquest is one you kind of need the DLC for.
I mean, you can do it without the DLC. It's just brutal. Like before the DLC came out, when I first got it, because I pre-ordered the games, and
Yeah.
there was a little bit before the DLC came out, and I played it without it, and I was like, this is so hard. Because I
Yeah.
played it on like hard classic immediately, and I was
Alright.
like, I'm gonna cry. This is so
How many
difficult.
Pegasus Knights did you lose?
None of them, because I was always really careful with them, and I also do that whole thing where I reset whenever someone dies. I beat the
Yeah.
whole game with all the characters, and it took so long. So long.
One of my, I liked the gameplay when I was playing the old Fire Emblem on Game Boy Advance, but oh my god, I hate Florina so much because I could never use her in anything, because whenever I tried to get her some XP, she would die. Every single time. Including the fight where you got her.
Oh,
Okay, question. Who are your favorite characters in Three Houses? Like,
Claude.
pick
Claude.
3 characters,
Claude.
and that's all I'm gonna
Claude,
give you. 3
Claude,
characters, your
Claude.
favorite
Claude,
Um,
Claude.
Claude times 3.
Sylvain.
I really
surprisingly.
like Marianne and Bernadetta too.
I like Sylvie. Bernadetta is adorable. I like Lenhart, Bernadetta. I like Dorothea. Dorothea. and
I
Petra
honestly like
are
most
a
of them,
cross between-
but
I like all of
Claude,
them.
I absolutely love, and then Marianne and Bernadetta are just so easy to identify with because, oh my god, you both have issues I have.
Bernadetta is probably like my ultimate favorite. I love her so much. She's just baby. I also really like Flane. Flane is baby.
Flame only looks like baby.
Of course she does. She has green hair. If you're a character in Fire Emblem and you have green hair,
You're probably 8,000 years old. This is true. I think the only exception is like Alm, maybe?
Alm has
Maybe?
baby blue. No, I'm thinking of Crown.
It's green.
Alm. No, Alm has green.
Yeah.
But Alm is also like prophecy child number 2. So he gets some weirdness going on.
But not ancient weirdness.
And his hair is also a different color than most of the ancient weirdness ones too. Because all the ancient weirdness ones normally have like lighter, like almost like mint color hair.
Yeah.
Yo,
TVs will sometimes be darker depending on the artist.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm looking up all the Fire Emblem characters with green hair. Just to see how many of them are just ancient and have... Because for some reason that's how...
That's just how it works.
You have green hair, you are old, but also look like you're about 10.
The protagonist for just Fire Emblem No Last Name Given, she has green hair and she really isn't all that old. I completely forgot what her name was.
Lynn?
Lynn, I think.
It's Lynn.
I keep forgetting I don't have the
yeah.
internet right now, and I'm somehow cheating.
I do have the internet!
I'm somehow cheating it. Like, the stream is still going, and yet I don't have internet right now. And
Weird.
very
Yeah, she does have
confused.
green hair. Also, I just googled Lynn, L-Y-N, and that was one of the first things that came up.
Yo,
Go
you wanna
Fire
know what's
Emblem,
so
go!
serious? I have
Lynn
green
also
hair.
has the darker green hair that
That
doesn't
Alm does,
always
yeah.
dictate. Because most of the characters with like the mint green, I think Sedith is the only one that I can like remember off the top of my head that has like darker green.
Oh, hey, I just found a picture of Lynn in 3 houses style.
Oh. If I'm being completely honest here,
Sedith does has lighter hair. Most of them.
if I'm being completely honest here, I've never actually beaten a single Fire Emblem game.
That's okay. We understand.
I've gotten like
It's a
4
lot
minutes.
of work.
I haven't
gotten,
beaten
like, 3
Skyrim
minutes
yet,
into
and I've
3
had it for
houses.
years. So that's relatable.
One thing I liked about 3 houses is it has a lot of replay, unlike a certain other game with 3 paths.
Hey,
I like
replayed that
Fates a lot.
too.
I like
replay
Fates a
all of them
lot, but Conquest, Birthright, and what was the third one? Revelation have way too much in common.
All that really changes are the characters that you can.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you guys played the Pokemon Dungeons?
Yes!
No.
I love them.
I played an early one.
I played all the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series except for the very like new remake, and I haven't finished Super.
I won't lie, I'm not a big fan of the recent remakes. I feel like they kind of take away from some of the aspects I liked from the old ones, especially like some of the story stuff. I think my favorite was Time.
You mean Sky?
Sky. Yeah, sorry.
Sky is better. It's literally just time and darkness, but better.
There was one I got recently that I was playing. I can't remember what it was.
Super?
It might be. The Ampharos?
Yes.
Yes.
I like Super. It's fun. I've gotten up to like the last dungeon.
I just do not do well in the Mystery Dungeon games.
Okay, I may have found out a really, really cheap way to just go through a dungeon and like collect a lot of items but not lose them all when you die. I found out that if your 3DS turns red while you're in the middle of a dungeon, it'll give you the prompt like, hey, do you want to leave? So what I did, I would press leave, I would charge up my 3DS for about 5 minutes, I would go back in the dungeon, wait for it to turn red again, and then go back out. I just completely cheated it.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun.
Probably a bug.
Have you guys also played the Ranger games? Because the Ranger games are literally one of my favorite ones.
I played Shadows
I
of
played the
Colossus.
first one, I think. It was a lot of fun. I have trouble with games that focus on you doing something with your hands quickly.
Yeah. It gave my hand a really, really bad cramp after a while, and if you don't have a long stylus, then you're basically doomed.
Yeah. Like, cool game, nice concept, cannot physically do it.
Yeah.
So Kid Icarus Uprising is out.
I just got a
Probably.
text message
Has
from a girl.
anyone here played that?
I have
know My
not.
sister has, and I've never.
I
I've never
love
played a
Kid
Kid
Icarus Uprising. I wish they would port it to Switch. But
I've never
it
played a
is-
Kid Icarus game.
Well, there's only like 3 of them. And the only one really worth playing is Kid Icarus Uprising. But
I keep forgetting there are Kid Icarus games.
yeah, it's really fun. I really love it. But the control scheme is brutal. Brutal on your hands.
I
Yeah,
just got
like-
a text message from a girl down the hall asking if I wanted to acquire food.
Acquire food.
Do you wish to acquire food?
I do wish to acquire food.
Then go forth and acquire food!
She said later though. So it
Okay.
sounds like we're going out for something to eat.
Nice.
Okay, so acquire food laters.
I would like some baked potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I was really craving cookie dough earlier.
I mean, that's fair. The unfortunate thing is a lot of cookie dough requires stuff that'll make you sick.
Well, I'm already like 270 pounds, so I don't give a fuck.
Whatever. Give me that cookie dough.
I'm underweight.
I have done
I have
so
the
many
opposite issue.
things that should have made me sick as a kid, but I'm surprised I haven't gotten, like, food poisoning yet. I think I might have mentioned it once in a stream before, but I once ate raw bacon as a kid, and I never got sick.
I got salmonella poisoning all the time growing up. But then again, I was always handling lizards and stuff, and, you know, as a kid, I'm dumb and I don't wash my hands sometimes.
You don't wash your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've looked it up. All the characters in Fire Emblem that have green hair. There's a pretty sizable amount, but it also all the ones with the mint green hair are all like dragons, ancient dragons.
So here's the next question. Are there any ancient dragons that do not have mint green hair? That aren't like where their hair depends on their parent?
Not that I've been able to see, and not all of them have like a human form that I can tell. I don't remember. Hold on, real quick.
I've never had a dragon party member in Fire Emblem because I've never gotten that far in any of the games. And I want dragons.
Fun fact, if you play Fates, you start out with the Dragon Party member.
Yeah.
You?
Well, not even really.
Yes, you are a dragon.
You don't actually get to use the dragon skills until you get to stage 6. Or is it
Yeah,
stage
but you're
5?
still a dragon.
Same difference.
So we were talking about movies earlier, and there's one infamous movie that I just recently watched because it came on Netflix, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know that
watched
one.
Guardians of Gahul,
Back on that
actually.
Fire Emblem.
I
Back on
honestly-
that Fire Emblem real quick. I did find a dragon that doesn't mint green hair. And it is Corrin's dad. He has blue hair.
Gotta have those cool colors.
I guess
It's still like a really
Corrin-
pale, like baby blue color.
so. Maybe
So it
being a
is-
dragon just dilutes your hair.
I don't know, maybe.
The D stands for dilution and dragon.
I've never been this interested in the color of characters' hair. It's never been something I've been that like. I've never been looking them up to decide.
Anyways, Guardians of Gahul.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't
Good
actually
movie.
dislike it. I will say it's a little disappointing, even though I've only read like 2 of the books, that like some things were changed, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like, oh, that's different. Okay,
Right, you
I'm
still have
over
that
it.
gut reaction of like, that's not how it happened.
Yeah. But other than that, I really like it. It was entertaining.
I know it's
And
beautiful.
It's very, very pretty.
Yeah, it's a very, very pretty movie.
I haven't read the books, but I have heard there some of the changes get really funny when you're familiar with the book version.
Yeah, I've only read the first 2, but even then I was able to be like, that's wrong.
It's like you changed that in the most ironic way possible on purpose, didn't you? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of love the idea of a snake nanny.
Yes. Miss P is amazing, and I love her.
Can we talk about how beautiful that movie is, though?
Yes.
That is like the thing you have to talk about with that movie.
Yes. The models, in my opinion, are surprisingly good. I mean, I might just be bad at judging models, but I really thought they were nice.
Yeah. And it's a lot, they look like the actual owls. They are anthropomorphized some, but not as much as most things do.
Yeah.
I really need to see it. I've not read
You
the
do.
books. I haven't seen the movie. It's one of those that's
I
like
saw-
been on my radar forever. I just haven't ever taken the time to watch it.
Well, if you have time, I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix.
That's the problem. I don't have time, but I'll keep that in mind.
Well, maybe eventually Animation Pilgrimage will get up to the present,
Oh yeah.
and you'll
It's
be
like,
obligated to watch it.
eventually I'll see it.
I haven't read the books, but the movie is really good.
Yeah. I haven't read the books either. I have the books. I've been meaning to read the books.
Yeah, I want to finish the book series. I really enjoy it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello!
I hit the dragon jackpot. I found a wiki page that tells me all the characters that are dragon Fire Emblem.
Nice.
That is the
It is
simplest
now
way to
time.
do it.
It is now time to see the hair ratio.
We're just so obsessed with these characters' hair.
It's very interesting, and it's a weird thing that they've somehow kept.
Didn't
Kind of
they add
consistent.
another Fire Emblem character to Smash?
Yes, they added.
Yes, they added the main character from the most recent game.
Wait,
In soccer, I said there were too many, but if there are too many, why did you add them?
how long
'Cause he
has
can't
the
be
stream
stopped.
been going?
He loves Fire Emblem too much.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
How long
Soccer, I
has
said-
the stream
oh, sorry.
been going for?
Since 2.
About Just over 2 hours. Almost
Yeah,
2.5
'cause
hours now.
Sean came in and said it's been 2 hours, so we're basing that off of what Sean said.
Around 2
Also,
hours
I
and
checked the
15
clock.
minutes.
So basically, by now the requests are closed.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
That piece of tape was too small. Better.
What are you making?
Time for more tape.
More tape.
Duct tape.
These need to be
More
lined up
sci-fi
perfectly.
franchises need to embrace duct tape. Especially ones that are supposed to be like our future. Because NASA loves duct tape.
Duct tape was originally made for the military, so.
I wonder, what would Tennille Flower's name be in Google Translate?
Oh my gosh, I found a dragon that doesn't have green hair.
Oh my
His name is
gosh.
Zane, and he has red hair. I forgot. Well, he's only a mannequin. Or a mannequin, whatever you want to call him. Does that count?
So I got the
he's
word
marked as a,
So he's a dragon, but he's like a different dragon?
he's the ones that are like people, but they also turn into dragons.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
counted them because, Maui.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so he has red hair. Time to put him in the non-green
How do you say that?
pile. I'm also
Well,
counting the ones with white hair as like originally having green because it's saying that they're in degeneration, which means that they're just old. So they have white hair. Corin technically counts,
I have a
but
question.
Corin also depends on character.
Yeah.
They'll go in the center.
Can anybody say what this word is? Because I looked up Tennille Flower's name in Google Translate, and this is what I got. I put it
What
in
did you translate it to?
just random language. It's in the chat. General.
Do you know what language it said it was?
No, I just like did that like one of the those music videos where they just translate it back into English.
Okay.
I put it in
I
general.
mean, I would say it to Nelele
Tanella.
is what I would say it.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Another
put it
non.
Oh, I do not know how to say that.
I found another one. This one's a baby named Faye.
Oh.
Faye has purple hair.
Faye is a type of
That
dragon.
sounds adorable.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, they should definitely be a dragon.
Let's
They're
see.
Fae.
They are little small dragons. They are very cute.
I thought the first test drawing was like doing a glitch effect for 1 second.
It is.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm also making it darker on one side so it pops a little bit more.
I want to read the comments or like what people are posting, but I don't want it to echo.
I have it pulled up and just muting.
Yeah, mute.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not on like I can't mute it.
Out of all the dragons in Fire Emblem, only 3 of them don't have green hair.
The newest Pokemon episode's out. I wish
yeah! Pokemon's out. You know
I
what,
wish I could turn
actually,
it on my computer.
this is a good point for me to stop because
Oh.
it's been 2.5 hours and there's still
Oh.
more to do. But
Oh dear.
I've got other things I need to be working on as well. So I'm going to keep working on these
Okay.
off stream.
Alright.
Okay.
And
That's fair.
yeah, and that'll be the end of the stream.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
one last small note.
Uh-huh.
The My Hero new episode came out today as well.
Oh. I'm behind on that.
It's
I
actually
haven't
gotten
watched
a
it
lot.
all.
very good. It is actually superb.
I've
So
already
I
read the
suggest
manga.
you get
I
past
also-
that finger man.
So, I may have just seen the title of the episode, and I'm very curious to see your reaction.
Yeah, so everyone go watch Pokemon. You're keeping up with the Let's Play, and that'll be the end of the stream. Thank you guys for coming.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see more
Yay.
reactions to Freakish Abominations.
Oh,